Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. Today is April 27th, and we're going to look at the case of a young mother who bled to death in front of her 3 children on April 27th of 1990. That was the day that 22-year-old divorcee Sandra "Sandy" Milton underwent an abortion performed by Dr. Carl Armstrong at Toledo Medical Services in Ohio. Neither Sandy's ex-husband nor her parents knew that she was pregnant. Now, who was Sandy? She had come to the U.S. from England with her family when she was a toddler, had attended Fremont Ross High School and the Vanguard Vocational Center. A high school friend named John reported that Sandy would return home for her 10 p.m. curfew, then sneak out her bedroom window and stay out most of the night. We used to have a hell of a lot of fun. We didn't really do a whole lot. Sometimes we'd just go downtown and watch the traffic go by, he said. So one day John decided to introduce Sandy to his girlfriend, who had an older brother named Tom Milton. The two couples went on a double date, and the romance was launched, even though Sandy was then only 15 years old. Now, Tom Milton admits that Sandy's parents never approved of him, and this likely made him even more attractive to the rebellious teenager. Their first child, a son, was born in October of 1979, and the couple married in June of 1980 when Sandy graduated from high school. She was 18 and Tom was 20. They had 2 more children together. Friends described Sandy as always happy, always bubbly. She always had places to go and things to do. They were ordinary activities, but Sandy enjoyed them: card games, ceramics classes, pizza, and movies. But Sandy wasn't really happy with her life. She divorced Tom in February of 1987, alleging abuse over the 7 years of their marriage. She moved from Fremont to the village of Green Spring, where she took a job on the assembly line of a Whirlpool appliance factory. She and Tom had little contact after that, except for Tom to pick up the children for visitation. Now, the weekend before April 27th of 1990, the slender young woman told her mother that she was going to lose 20 pounds. Sandy's mother did not make the connection between this comment and a pregnancy that her daughter was planning to abort. So, Sandy went to Toledo Medical Services on the morning of April 27th. The abortion was performed by Carl Armstrong at 10 a.m., and Sandy was discharged shortly afterward for the 90-minute drive home. The babysitter stayed with her and her 3 children, ages 10, 7, and 5, for 3 hours as the young mother slipped in and out of consciousness and suffered pain and abdominal sweating. Twice the alarmed babysitter called the clinic, but was told that the symptoms were normal. The 3rd time the babysitter called the clinic, she got no response at all, so she called an ambulance. But Sandra was pronounced dead on arrival at Fremont Memorial Hospital at 6:01 p.m. Tom found out later that day he had come to pick up the children in the house. Nobody was home, so he went fishing, and it's his brother who tracked him down to tell him his ex-wife was dead. Now, the medical examiner performed an autopsy and found a 1-inch uterine perforation, and her abdomen was full of blood. She had bled to death internally. The county coroner estimated that Sandy had been 22 weeks pregnant, and this is particularly interesting since Toledo Medical Services claimed that they would not perform abortions at 18 weeks or later. Oops, typo. So, Dr. David Miller, an OBGYN in Bowling Green, Ohio, pointed out that in Ohio, each department of a hospital is inspected separately by the state and is regulated. But, he pointed out, that is not true regarding abortion. And in fact, the people at abortion clinics say that if they had to comply, they would go out of business. Now, Carol Dunn, president of Center for Choice 2, an abortion facility in Toledo, made excuses for why abortion clinics didn't adhere to safety standards. It's more or less a doctor's office. It's a simple procedure, and we want to keep it that way. She scoffed at safety standards, saying, "We don't have doors wide enough to fit a gurney. We don't have hospital care. People walk around here, not ride." The idea that emergency medical services would need a gurney through a doorway if a woman suffered a life-threatening complication clearly wasn't worth her consideration. And as for the 3 motherless children, it's unclear who cared for them after Sandy's death, whether they went with their father or their grandparents. So just a sad situation overall. I really think Sandy's children would have been better off with a new sibling than with a dead mom.